Well, hello, good afternoon. I'm absolutely honoured and delighted to be with you today. And I bring a simple message from the National Union of Rail, Maritime and Transport Workers of solidarity and support. We're entirely with you. We are right behind your campaign. And our campaigns are very similar. And the stuff that you will face during these campaigns will be very similar to what we've had to put up with. We were first out, if you like, over a year ago. And I think we've got to congratulate the government in so many ways because they've brought together so many people from diverse backgrounds across the country and across every sector. And I bet when you were young medical students growing up full of ambition, all those, as they used to say, nights of study and self-denial to get to the position you're in now, you never thought you'd be out on strike alongside horrible people like me, railway workers, the enemy of the people, a union baron skinhead who's just been plonked on top of the people of Britain. Well, it's absolute nonsense, isn't it? I mean, our system, like your system, is a comprehensive system that covers the country. It needs an army of people to work in it, from the cleaners, the support workers, your nurses, your doctors, your consultants, everybody, even the maintenance teams in all those hospitals. We need each other to run the health service. We need each other to run the rail service. And of course, we need each other to run this society in a decent way. And what they want to sow, and we had it from day one on the picket line just across the road here at Euston. On day one, they were saying to us, why should you get a pay rise when nurses haven't got a pay rise? Why should you get a pay rise when junior doctors haven't got a pay rise? When consultants haven't got a pay rise? And they went on to list all of these people. And I said, well, I'm glad to say that the RMT stands behind every single one of those workers in every sector. And we should all get a pay rise. We should all get a system that is properly funded. So you will be under attack, and don't think there's not a conspiracy. You quickly become a conspiracy theorist in this trade union game because down in what used to be called Fleet Street, they are conspiring to write articles about BMA members, about junior doctors and consultants, about what they earn, what their conditions are. Well, I've got a message for these people. Why shouldn't working people, whether they're a consultant or a cleaner on the railway or a cleaner in a hospital, have a decent set of conditions, have a set of working practices that are respected? Have a set of regulations that govern the way they work, that have staffing levels that are respected by all of the employers, that have a safe environment to work in for them and their customers, passengers or patients, whatever it is. We need, it's an old-fashioned thing to say, a more regulated society. We need a set of common standards in a democratic society that the employers have to respect and that the rich people of this country have to respect. Because if you get a pay rise, you'll pay your tax in due course, make your contribution back to your health service and the other services that we want in our society. But there are vast numbers of people in this country who pay no tax whatsoever, who are escaping the rigour of the systems that we believe in. And it's about time we change that. People need to be... People need to be rewarded properly for the work they do, for the responsibilities that they carry in their role in our society. And we should respect those payments and enhance them year on year. And that goes for every worker, because what's happened in this country is a transfer of wealth. What's going on right before you at this time is a transfer of wealth from what we call the working class, you might call them the working people, or the ordinary people of this country. Our wealth is being transferred to the super rich. The oligarchs are running the country right now, and they're running it for their benefit, not the benefit of the people. And there is a stench of corruption in this society. Look at what's happening to our water companies at the minute. 30 and 40 years ago, these companies used to be run by your local authorities under mutual control, municipal control. Ever since they've been privatised, they've been flipping financial instruments all around them, filling their boots, filling their bank accounts, and tripping off to the private sector as quick as they could get it. And now we cannot even collect the water that falls from the sky, clean it up and send it back to ourselves the way we did back in the 1850s and beyond, when our forebears said we've got to change this society, and we did it. And we went on to change it after the Second World War, when we established the welfare state, when we established universal education, when we established a health system, when we put people out of destitution and poverty. And I tell you now, we're on the path back to those days. That's what they've got in mind for us. And all of the people that are involved in industrial action, you'll hear every one of them, from the railways to the health service to our teachers, say, I am defending my service. I believe in my service. And you cannot have a proper NHS, a proper education system, unless you pay the staff in it the appropriate rate of pay. That's what we're fighting for our welfare state, for the pillars of change and reform from the Second World War. And if we don't stand up and fight for it now, it will go through our hands and it will just be a memory. So we're with you all the way. We're going to unite all of the people, and I call on the BMA, join with the other trade unions. Maybe you don't want to take the step into the labour movement directly, but we'll certainly be welcoming you. Because who'd have thought that the barristers would have been on strike at the same time as us last year? I was very frightened that the people in Tavistock Square and in Hampstead and Chelsea wouldn't get their Choco Woco lattes, but it turned out to be the people in the wigs. So they brought the barristers out, they brought the consultants out, they brought the doctors out, the teachers out. Everybody that's looking after us has been on strike. The railway workers work in a safety critical environment. You work in the most safety critical environment. We put our lives in your hands. You put your children's futures in the hands of the teachers. When you travel, you put your lives in the hands of the railway workers. And what's common to all of it? They're defunding our services. They're defunding all of them all of the time. And they're doing that in order to privatise them, to run them into the ground, and to make more money for the global corporations that are slowly but surely consuming all of those institutions, including the NHS. So we wish you every success in your campaign. It's not going to be over in one go. You've got to keep fighting. As soon as this pay round is over, there'll be another pay round to come. And then you've got to fight for the funding of our society going forward. But I tell you what, on this message, a change is coming in this country. I can feel it out there. They told us that everyone would hate us a year ago. They told us that we'd be beaten in a fortnight. Well, we haven't won, but we're far from being beaten. We are determined to get a deal for our people. I hope the BMA is determined to get a deal for their people and sees this dispute through to the bitter end if necessary, and fights for the future of our people and fights for our society, because that change is coming. And part of that change is to get rid of this corrupt, rotten government. They need to go as quickly as possible, and we need to refound our society. Solidarity to you all. Victory to the BMA and victory to all of our workers. Thank you very much.